Hello guys, welcome to my account showcase of my completely free to play account that I that finished Emperor last season as well as in the resolution season. So I've been playing Epic 7 for last 4.5 years and I've been completely F2P as you can see from these packs that have never been brought any pack. And in this video I'm going to show you my builds and my strategies and what what all tricks I've used to finish Emperor in the last season. So let's get started. So first of all, we have Arbiter Wielded. I think Arbiter Wielded as is not that good in this meta. There there are better ML5s than him, but I think there are places where I have used Arbiter Wielded, like in Caval Cleaves when the opponent picks Commander Pavel. There are cases where I can use Arbiter Wielded because the Caval S3, S2 can kill the RB and the RB can come back and kill everybody. And next, I guess, yeah, next is Aiden. So my Aiden is come on full damage. I went for 200 speed and yeah, I pick Aiden against cleave if they are cleaving some Zio Jacko kind of cleave, and I've used a fair amount, I would say. There is also one for Aiden. I think there is also one more build, that the lifesteal build with a little bit more bulk. That is also good for standard play. I think. Yeah, I think the best build for Aiden is Destruction and Penset. Next up is Bryceria. I think Bryceria I've also used quite a lot. I think she is really strong. She has a S3 that is a full strip and a defense break, and also she's combos really well with Lionheart Sermia against units that counter attack. That is really prevalent in this current meta, like Captain Landy and Abyssal Yufine, and she's also very good into evasion units. Next up is my S10A. My S10 is completely damaged, 210, 213 speed, and yeah, I've not went for any bulk, and I've given her, which I think is best in slot, uh, the book. Mm, Next up is Milim. I've used Milim quite a little bit amount of times, I think. Not a lot, but there are cases where I need a book and S10A is not available. So in those cases, I have used Milim. Milim is also can be used against Landy and in some cases against uh, Solitary as well. Mm, this is a PVE. He say Quarik is just holding here. I think he's very hard to use and his gear is requirement is super high, so I don't recommend building him. Next up is Celine. My Celine is 180 speed, as you can see, and it's full damage. Mm, and I've opted for the highest attack E. I think that has more use, better use cases in my playstyle, and the attack buff. I think this is huge. It is can help you one shot units squishies like Estene or Rimuru or yeah. I think you can also build Celine little bit bulkier and faster with the random E. That can also work to sometimes cheese the opponents. Yeah. Next up is Bihu. I think Bihu is okay when there are games where he's very good, but it's very hard to use him in most of the games. I I've built my Bihu on 255 speed and full damage, a full attack because Bihu burns, so there's no need to build crit chance and crit damage. I think I was trying to build a faster Bihu like a 270 270 Bihu because I think View needs to be faster to take the turn before units like I guess Gala Lilius, because he's really good into Gala, but he needs to go before Gala, and he's also has got a team wide push. So yeah, I think, and I've gone for the new E, the attack E. I'm trying out the new E. Mercedes is just on some destro gear. Don't really use her much, if any. Politis is just a standard full damage Politis. I don't really play a lot of Politis because uh, I don't really face a lot of vehicles. So I think she's really good, and I think her half CR mechanic is really good in the meta. She's a evergreen unit. I don't think you can go wrong with her. Next up is Trace. I've gone for 255 speed, and rest all is in damage. Uh, Nothing great about it. He just gets the job done. If there is a very slow player who's trying to tank up, I think this Trace does the job. There's a and there's also the 75% chance Tachi, right? So yeah, he needs to proc this to be viable. You can also previously my Strays was on Azure Comet and was 85 crit chance, and but he needed attack buff in those cases. So I went for this build. Now he can get attack buff from this. This is my Roylet. My Roylet is 4.2k attack, 290 crit damage, 180 speed. I think is the build is all right. I've seen a lot of better Royalets like 450 GS, which have like insane bulk as well, and triple S. Yeah, those are obviously better. But with the gear I have, I've decided for this build. I think Roylet is one of those units that it's all depends on his evasion, right? If he's dodging, he could be really good, but you pick him and there could be games where you pick him and he just gets hit turn one and it's over, right? Just a -1 unit. Mm. Next up is Jacko. This is how I built my Jacko, like 220 speed, 220, 230 speed, full damage. I generally don't leave, but I have her gear just in case if I want to leave. I think speed pen is best in slot for her. I think she is really good bridge for cleavers because she can be paired with Zio or any other unit that goes fast, and her S3 is a nuke, and yeah, she's really good. SSB is on a Y1 one shot. Yeah. This is my Cavel 5k attack, standard Cavel. I don't really use him much because I don't leave. Yeah. This is his gear if someone wants to see it. Yeah. Next up is Arrowell. I've used this is my Arrowell. I pick her against cleavers like Arrowell Aidin because she has the best mitigation if she has an escort buff up, and she also provides shields to light allies like Aiden. So I think yeah, she's good, but I would say that she has seen better days, and in the debuff heavy meta currently there are there is cases where Crimson Armin is better. Overall pretty strong unit. Next up is Mediator. This is my Mediator. I've not changed him much since 2 3 seasons, I guess. It's on the same build, 250 speed. I think nowadays people are changing their mediators to deal with DDR and AOLs and Dragon King Sherwin, as DDRs are generally slower, so you want the mediator to go after the DDR. Yeah, and I think he's a really strong unit overall. Any unit that gives a full cleanse, attack buff, and immunity will always be good. I use him quite a lot, so yeah. Kane is for Rift one shot. This is my Roy with some spare gear. I tried to build him and see, but his damage is not great, and you need insane gear, and you need a lot of imprints for him to work. Yeah. Mm. KU, this is just some things I did after the season was over. So, yeah. Sermia, I think, is for KDs. This is my OpSig. I use her for when I want to punish prot set. There are cases when I picked her and she got instantly banned, so gear didn't really matter on her. But this is just a pocket pick if someone wants to pick a lot of prot set to cheese Lua. Next up is a Zio. I went for full damage Zio. Mm, there are a lot of people running effectiveness Zio for their cleaves. I think what kind of Zio you want, it totally depends on what damage, what type of playstyle you are preferring. Uh, there are effectiveness Zeos with 250 to 200 effectiveness. Then there are Zeos like this which I have built. There's a full damage Zeo, and then there is Zeos that are hybrid Zeos that have 100 effectiveness and rest are into damage. Yeah. Next up is Elvira. I think she's really solid. She cuts off fighting spirit, so units like LHC and Abyssal Yufin are basically useless, and they cannot do her. And yeah, she basically cuts them off. And yeah, I think her build, you probably want like 300 effective resistance, sorry, so that she generally doesn't get debuffed, but more often than not she just gets banned. So I figured that might as well use that gear on somebody else. Next up is Violet. My Violet is on Lifesteal Pen. I think it's the best build for her. Yeah, his gear is just average Lifesteal and penetration set. Uh, you don't really see Violet a lot in this meta. I guess if there is a full blue team, he can work against some cleaves that like Ran, Edda cleaves. Yeah. Apart from that, not really. Ran is just holding some gear. I don't really pick Ran. Zahak. This is my Zahak. I went for 275 speed, and then the rest is into damage. Zahak is, I think, really good into units like Aidin and Roylet, and he also inflicts injury. Yeah, I think you want him a little bit faster if you want to be really sure. And yeah, and I've gone for the attack E and symbol of unity. Next is Aravi. I think Aravi has fallen off really because of injury and as well as units like Candy and Abyssal Yufin introducing in the meta. But my build of Aravi has not changed. This is the same build that I used to run when she was at the peak of her powers. Yeah. So you just want like 180 200 speed and as much HP as you want. Some people run like higher bulk, but I've decided for this build according to my gear. And yeah, I've still kept proof on her. And yeah, some people run a counter Aravi also. That could also work. But I think the best is Destro pen, but my Destro gear is not that good. And yeah, next up is my Conqueror Lilius. So I have played a lot of Conqueror Lilius last season. I think she's really strong. Yeah, there are counters to her, but there are games where she's can just win by herself, and she's always a threat. Uh, I have a lot of effectiveness, as you can see, 147. So after Fantasia, it's almost 200 effectiveness. So there were cases where I was able to debuff like Ocean Breeze, Luluka, and stuff. So, and I used to pre-ban Bunny Dom, so that was one less counter. I generally used to play a lot of Conqueror Lilius. I think she has my best speed gear. So, yeah. Next up is Landy. This is just a PvE Landy. Eras is just holding some gear. I super rarely pick Eras. If there is a knight and there is some heavy DPS I have and I want to combo with Eras like Roylet or Emeru, then I pick Eras. But it's super rare. Yeah. Next up is my Solitaria. Yeah, I've not changed my Solitaria for quite some time. I've went for 260 speed, a little bit of bulk, and the FRS build. I think more FRS would be better, but the the stat line is fine. There are some people that run no effective resistance and full effectiveness, and with Crown, I think Crown is the best artifact for her, and she is really annoying to deal with. But with the emergence of Abyssal Yufin and Candy, I think her usage has dropped considerably, I would say. Yeah. This is just a Banshee one shot. Vivian. Next up is Rimuru. Uh, yeah, so I went for full damage Rimuru. I think Rimuru is decent in this meta. There are cases where Rimuru is really strong when picked correctly. Mm, he's really good into units like Gala Lilius because she has they can she can steal his buff, and yeah, they can one tap Gala Lilius and other mid HP units. Yeah. This is my Vivian. Uh, I went for lifesteal set on her. I think Vivian is really bad in this meta. The kit of her is okay, but it's just very hard to use her. There are so many things that deny focus, and there are fixed damage, and yeah, it's really not her meta. I think she needs a little tweak of buff would be very good. Yeah. Next up, this is my Gala Lilius. Yeah, I used quite a lot of Gala Lilius. I think she's really, really good. Mm, I think Speed Torrent is the way to go. My damage is not that great. I would say that more damage and more speed, it could be even better. But this is what I went for. I think Wind Rider is the best artifact. Although there are people that run her own artifact with like a FRS build, that might also be good in some cases. Ideally, I think you want her to be faster, like 270, 280, and then more damage. Yeah, but my torrent gear is not really good, as you can see. Next up is where it shows. Okay, here we go. Next up is Shuna. This is my Shuna. Uh, I don't really play a lot of Shuna, but there are games where the other person picks like uh, Bryceria and LHC, and this is a good way to stop the combo going. Mm, yeah. So because her S3 can strip and sleep the LHC, and also her S2, you can also use her S2 to cleanse. And she has like 167, 169 FRS. I guess if you, I think I am, yeah. So I'm almost 200 and 88 effectiveness to debuff the 100 FRS units. Yeah. I went for the 100% sleeping chance with this EE, and I guess you can use Soul Constellation, Eternus. You can use almost anything. Depends on what you have available and what fits your playstyle. Next up, I think it's T-Surin. T-Surin is on lifesteal and 180 speed, 300 crit damage. I don't really play a lot of T-Surin. It's just there if needed. Yeah, I don't think she's super OP or anything. I think she's super niche. There are a lot of things she loses to and a lot of counters to her in this meta. Okay, next up is LRK. I think LRK is probably very good in this meta. I not probably he's insane in this. I have generally he's my first mitigation knight that I generally pick. I think he's got bulk. He gives mitigation. He's got damage. I think he's really good. Uh, you generally want him to be like 200 speed, and then some people go for like 100 effective resistance, and then the rest into bulk. I went for this build, which is 220 speed and the whole bulk. Because I was losing a lot of stats if I went for 100 FRES, and I thought, well, we'll just deal with it. We'll just pick cleansers and deal with the debuffs. Yeah, I think you can go. Some people nowadays go Bastion on him because Shu is prevalent in the meta. So I think Bastion also works, but but I went for Orius because Orius is tried and trusted. Yeah. Next up is Lionheart Sarmia. I think Lionheart is a top tier unit. She sees a lot of play and her damage is really good. And there is also ways to deal with her. So I don't think she's broken, but she's really good. I went for a Golden Rose build with speed and critical set. I think there are generally two types of builds where people go for full damage builds with Golden Rose, or people go with like a lifesteal set and go with like Draco Plate. And there are some builds where you go Proof of Valor. It depends on your play style, I think. I like this build. It's 200 speed with good damage. Yeah, it would be better if I had more imprints, but we are getting there slowly. I think I put the slate, one slate at the end of the season when I was climbing. I was like, okay, I need this. And also max this would be better. Hoyong, uh, I saw a lot of people saying that, oh, she's unusable. Uh, well, I don't think so. I think she's okay. She's nothing like her prime when she was released, but she, I think, still does her job very well. I went for 5,000 attack and little bit bulk and about 225 speed. And I have only one imprint. And I had a plus 30 Uberius from her glory days, so it was still on her. So I think this build is okay for an F2P. I think, yeah, you pick, she just one taps anything that has very low attack like Soul Weaver or any Knight with the right setup with like units that I generally play like Conqueror and Hand Guy. I think she's really good, and I've played in this preseason some games where she absolutely destroys comps like Abyssal Yufine and Carmine and Destina, right? Because there's nothing they can do against this. So, yeah, I think she's okay. Nothing OP. This is my AOL. It's a standard AOL. I don't really play AOL to be frank. I just think she's an okay unit. I think she's a really good unit, but I don't play. It's just not my play style. So you build like I build like 200, 222 speed and bulk and both 100 F res and 100 effectiveness. Sometimes people run like full speed, full effectiveness to catch people off. I think that's also good. Initially, I had a very fast AOL, so I know that could can catch people off. Then there are people that run a proof of valor full tank AOL. AOL is one of those units that people have a lot of builds. Some people, no two people's builds are exactly the same, right? There are some people that have knowledge seed. There are some people that have book. There are some people that have proof of valor. Yeah, so some people have spirit's breath. Mm, okay. Next up, yes. Next up is DDR. I think before Dragon King Sharoon was released, I think this unit is triple S. I think he's got too much in his kit going on. Uh, he has he has injury, he has strip, he has sleep. He can just he's basically a win condition. And if you don't pick anything to deal with him, he's just gonna almost win any matchup. I think Potion Vial is this is best artifact. There are games where I used to run Water's Origin and I won some games because of Water Origins, but there are far more games where Potion Vial is more helpful and can cleanse or like a stun or something. And he just then once he gets his skills, presses his buttons, that's it. Everything just falls. I think I comboed him a lot with Conqueror Lilius and LRK. So like I played LRK, DDR, Conqueror Lilius, and pre-banned Bunny, and that's basically, believe me, that's basically a cleave. So it's too much damage. I think also he's really good into the new Laya unit, which is really prevalent in the meta right now. Yeah, but with Dragon King Sharoon, I think he's less deadly, but still think he's really good. I think he's very strong. Yeah, this is my okay. Next up, this is my Destina. I think nothing special about my Destina. It's pretty average. I don't really play a lot of Destina. Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, this is my Destina. Uh, this is my build. There's nothing crazy about it. It's just 20k HP and bulk and FRES. I think she's really solid, but I'm an aggro player, so I don't play her much. I'm on the CR in crazy. Yeah. Next up is Senia. Yeah, this is my Senia. I went for full attack and bulk. No effectiveness or FRES. I think it does work sometimes if I'm playing units that can't strip me, like Candy, Navy Captain Landy against her. It works, and sometimes in GWs it works. It's rare, but I pick her very rarely, not much. Yeah. And I think it's on the I use the yeah the Healy. Yeah. Next up is Sage Ball. Uh, I pick him a lot against cleavers because I think he's generally a must ban for them. 250 speed and bulk and as much FRES as you want. I have used Bastion of Hope, but if you have enough FRES, you can use something like Abyssal Crown as well. I think if you can get like insane like 250, 300 effectiveness, FRES Sage Ball with these stats, maybe a little bit less bulk, that's absolutely insane. I mean, like he's like one of those units that the cleaver generally, if they can't debuff him, he just gonna has to just go push up and stop their team, right? So, yeah, I think Sage Bar is really good, but he's only mainly used again in the anti cleave. This is a Rift unit. This is my Flidica. I have 275 speed on her and and little bit of effectiveness. If I want a unit that to go faster than if the opponent has like units like Gala and Bdom and I want to take turn one to strip the Gala, then sometimes I use a Fredika or I want to reset some unit like DDR or something. I can use Fredika. I think she's okay. There are people that play like Athletica and Veronica Cleaves. I think she's really good there as well. Yeah, she's a unit that requires good gear, I think, because you need 100 crit chance, and she doesn't work. and her S3 don't doesn't work that well if you into anti crits, right? So, yeah. Next up is Karina. This is my Karina. I went for a standard build. Uh, we have as much defense as possible and 200 speed and 100 FPS. I think Karina is very solid into anti-cleave. She's she's some people run it on counter and can counter and defense break and use use splash damage on her S3. She's really annoying to deal with. Yeah, really don't like. Some people don't like fighting her, and I get it why. It's really strong, and this I think this artifact is really good on her. Rocket punch gauntlet. Yeah. So this is my crow. It's just holding some gear. Don't really pick crow a lot. I guess you want like this much speed and like lot of bulk and 100 FPS if you want to build a crow. I went for the S3 kill decrease cooldown E and Aureus obviously. Next up is carrot. These units are I have not really used carrot much. I guess in case games where the other guy picks like S10A and Landy or some squishy units, and I don't have reach for them, and I need someone like I need some way to counter those. I can pick carrot. She can soul burn and just burn everybody and kill. Yeah, and she can also pair up very well with Bihu because the burn damage is increased. Yeah. Alencia, yeah, I don't really use Alencia. She's a PvE unit. I've seen some people run like injury Alencia as well. Think she needs. I think she's fine, but against the top ML5s, she is not that good. This is my Lethe. Mm, I think she does work in some situations where the opponent has like slow DPSs like Abyssal Yufin and MLKN and something because she can lap really quickly and with a Soul 1 S3 she can just kill some units when he gets 3 Omen stacks. Yeah, and yeah, I think it's a standard build. Mm, this is my head. It's like 20k and 193 speed and full damage. Sigurd scythe. Nothing to say here. Just standard head. Some people run a injury head. It could be good in some cases. I just run a standard head and maybe you can say that it could be a little bit more bulkier and have better tank stats, but he does the job. Yeah. Next up is DJB. So this is my DJB is 250 speed and 200 effective resistance, and so I'm using Soul Constellation on it. Can use Eternus or maybe some people even use Bastion of Hope on it. But I think DJB is very situational unit. There are cases where other cleansers are just better than him. But I remember one of the games where I other guy picked Pera and I picked DJB and it worked out. And yeah, so he's one of the very situational units, and he's really hard to use. And once he does his S3, like he's like not that tanky, so he just dies. So it's more suited to be a one cleanse and done unit. Yeah. Ocean Breeze Luluka. Yeah, this unit I've seen a lot of. I fought a lot of against her, and I think she's really strong. Her kit is really very annoying to deal with. Her S3 is a defense buff AoE, and her extra attack is blinds and silences. Yeah, so you build her like 230 speed, and I guess nowadays really popular is 800 effectiveness and rest is into FRES and 230 speed and bulk. Yeah, but I tried that, but I would lose a lot of effective resistance, and yeah, I was getting debuffed before in that 85 in that effectiveness build, so I switched back to this, and it works fine. And I have 35, so I am somehow sometimes able to land debuffs. Yeah, this is just a spare gear. Design a Lilibet. This is my design a Lilibet. So I went for 220 speed and 1900 defense and full damage. Yeah, this is how I think this is how you build design a Lilibet. I had like a 190 speed design a Lilibet, but there were a lot of cases where she wouldn't cut in when there was a Politis or Abyssal Yufine on the field. So I decided to speed it up. I think she's situational and in against debuff heavy comps, she provides some useful cleanse and she is good in those cases. Next up is Fallen Cecilia. So she's just holding some spare gear. Uh, so I think Fallen Cecilia has really fallen off the meta. You don't really see Fallen Cecilia a lot in this meta because there are just better knights like LRK and uh, like Arrowell, and maybe even Shadow Knight Willis sees more play in this meta. So yeah, I think I've played her once or twice against like yeah. Next up is yeah Elena. Elena I had built to counter Nakwal. I did use her few times. So I went for 225 speed and same effective resistance with a little bit of bulk on Tomb. I think she is not super OP, but sometimes she does work. It depends on like if the Narkwhal just lands everything, then yeah, she's just useless, right? So a unit like Laya is like far better in dealing with these kinds of units. Yeah, she can also have a niche. She can also be a niche counter pick into units like Monk and Cleaves and some AoE Cleaves. Yeah. People also sometimes run around counter because our S1 cleanses. Yeah. This is my Pera. It's just a niche pocket pick which I don't really pick much. Just give her some okay average speed gear and just yeah RNL. You can use Goblet or both. I think that's better now. Yeah. Just if someone picks like slow units and they're weak to unbuffable and restrict, I pick Pera. Mm. This is my Raya. Raya wasn't around when I finished Emperor, so I think this unit is really good. Mm. And yeah, I think she has an S3 like Dark Overs, which kills and heals, and her S2 is a full cleanse, so I think she's a really top tier unit, and I think people should build her. Yeah, I think I went for 260 speed and 24k HP. I think there are a lot of people that can build even more faster and better and more bulkier liars. So yeah, the more faster and it's better. I think 280, 275 is good because it can outspeed or speed RNG a lot of units. Yeah, like Money Dome and Galas. Yeah, and she has a 25% CR boost. So that's a lot. This is my Kairon which I built for anti-cleave. If there is no strip and the other guy has no blue units, then he can work. It's super rare though. Yeah, it's on the crescent. I think you can use Shepherd of Hollow as well. And I've used the S1 increase damage E. This is my pocket pick Fairy Tale Tenebria. It's 268 speed and has 250 184 effectiveness, and with cursed compass this gives 50% effectiveness. So yeah, it has like almost 234 effectiveness. So it's I built this initially to deal with units like BBK and Kron. Yeah, so don't didn't really pick her much in the last season. Hazel is for Rift, and next up is Iseria. Iseria I use for Nightmare Raid and PvE stuff. Next up is Narkwhal. This is my Narkwhal. It's 288 speed, 154 effectiveness. Mm, I think she is really OP. With Guiding Light, I think Guiding Light is one of the best artifacts on it. You build her fast and with effectiveness. Little bit like Lua. And her kit is her has 3 binds and her has 2 seals. And it's a full strip with Ignore Refresh. I think, yeah, it's one of those units that, like Lua, if she does her thing, then you won't even play the game, right? So, yeah, I think she's as much speed as you can and effectiveness. Yeah, those are the main stats that you are looking for. This is my Bunny Dom. Bunny Dom, I had banned Bunny Dom in the last season, which I finished Emperor. So yeah, I went for 270 speed and a little bit of effective resistance. I mean, ran 1300 defense and 15k HP with Doctor's Bag. I think Doctor's Bag is good. I think a faster Bunny Dom might be better for me, but I've still yet to switch it to the faster version. I think 280 to 85 might cut a lot of liars because yeah, 270 lot of liars outspeed me. Yeah, so yeah, you generally want like 280 speed, and maybe if you can afford a little bit of effective resistance and some bulk might be helpful. And her kit. I think she's really strong because she's a hard punish to extra turns, right? So units like DDR, Conqueror, Lilius, Monk, in some cases Lua cannot do their thing. So she's really good into a lot of very meta units, which makes her meta. Liliana, yeah, this is some spare gear. I didn't really use her much. It's, I tried to use her, but her damage is very bad, and yeah. Mort, uh, Mort I had built after the season just to meme a bit. So I thought maybe he will be good against Laya because he has injury, and yeah. So this is my build if anybody wants to have a look. He's not that bad, but it's very situational. Baiken is, yeah, she's the one shotter. Banshee. DN is holding some spare gear. It's nothing crazy. I, I generally use her for PvE stuff. Shoe. This is my shoe. I use her on Guild War sometimes. Not really lot in RTA. There are a lot of better units that have less RNG in their kits. I've used the S1 to S2E and Snow. I think Snow Crystal is best on her. Some people use Samazra, Pair Beats, Inferno Kawazu. This is my Inferno. I have 200 speed and rest all is little bit into bulk and rest all is into attack. I think this is what generally most people go for. You could go for a faster Kawazu or more damage Kawazu, and some people run I guess his Hoyong's artifact, which is also good if you can max it, but I think attack buff is important because then he's self-sufficient, right? He can get attack buff from this and tap this, and I went for the immunity. I think this is by far the best E for Inferno Kawazu. Yeah. I actually did play a lot of Inferno Kawazu, surprisingly a lot of Inferno. I think Yeah, if he gets to do his thing, he can just one tap a unit out of the game. Right? He's really good into candy. He's really good into sometimes in LHC. He's really good into Abyssal Ufine. He's really good into mm, yeah, uh, uh, Lone Crescent Bellona and other units that AOE. Yeah, he also sometimes checks LRK because LRK can't S3 because he's gonna proc his thing and yeah. This is my Lilius. It's just a way to deal with Lua, I guess. Uh, just an average Lilius. Nothing crazy about it. You want like 220, 210 speed and 50 crit chance because our skills have inbuilt 50 crit chance and as high crit damage as you can, and you need this artifact on the mods artifact for her to be anti Lua. And I went for the CR pushy. Yeah. Charlotte is lifesteal immunity. Uh, I have not changed her build for a long time. It's the same build. Think yeah, she's really niche. In some cases where they pick like I don't know Bellion and S10A and yeah, you can pick Charlotte. It might work. Hmm. Next up is Lua. I think this unit is one of the best units in the game. Reset, sleep, S1 defense break, beguile, speed buff. It has a lot of things going on. Yeah, but my Lua is not that good. Actually, it's not good at all. Uh, it's you generally want like 150, 200 effectiveness, at least 100 effectiveness, and then like fast, very fast, like 310, 312 Lua. That's what legend players play. But most of my best speed gear is on the Conqueror Lilius. So this is my Lua currently. This is what I played in uh, the season that targeted Emperor. This is my Navy Captain Landy. I've very general build. I went for some speed and rest all is into damage. I think this unit is really strong. It can just win you. Is It's a win condition, and it can win you games that you shouldn't win. Just build her on counter and maybe yes, immunity might be good, but I was missing the crit chance, so I went for critical set. Elbris I think is by far the best choice for her and build her damage. And if Elbris procs a lot, and you can even S3 turn one with a fighting spirit mechanic, and she does a lot of damage here and can win or she can win almost any game. Yeah, so obviously she has counters and there are way to deal with her, but still pretty strong I would say. It's one of the units that I think the current Mystic the special Mystic banner. If you don't have her, I think you should think about getting her. Yeah, it's insane. This is my Falconer Glory. It's PVE, I think. Yeah, it's all PVE. Dizzy is just these are like OG units, just holding some gear. Emeru, this is my Emeru. Don't really use Emeru. Just some AI gear. It's just very hard to use her. And the thing is that even if she she you pick her and she low rolls and doesn't land seals or doesn't proc her extra attack, yeah, it's just bad. Duluka is just holding some gear. Then there is Ray. This is my Ray. I don't really use Ray much. I guess one or two games if Mediator is banned and there is no other immunity buffer and cleanser, I can pick Ray. Yeah, I remember one game. The other guy picked Emeru and I picked Ray, and yeah, so he just couldn't do anything because his S1 also cleanses. Next is Bellion. Previously I had a injury Bellion, and with the DDR getting back in the meta, I thought, well, I guess injury won't be that important for her because DDR will give everybody injury. So I switched her back to counter, and yeah, I think you build her like there are a lot of different builds. Some people build her on Orius, some people build her on Prot set. Yeah, I think, and she denies soul, so it's a must ban for in most cases than not. It's a must ban, so people just ban it. It's very annoying to deal with. Amelia is PvE gear. So this is also PvE. It's for Nightmare Raid, I think, for the Queen. Yeah. This is my Sarish. It's just PvE. I used to use it in KDs. Not KDs, I mean the Light Expo. Yeah, yes, Light Expo. This is my Roana. It's just HP and 100 FRS. Yeah, I think I had switched around some gear because it used to have 100 FRS. Like no speed, like bulk and FRS. That's it. Just a complete counter pick into some units like uh, Solitaria and sometimes even Candy or something like that. Yeah. Next up is MLken. I got MLken from the second headhunt event. I think, yeah, he's really good. I think he's really good into Landy, Captain Landy. He's really good into Abyssal Yufin. Yeah, so I think he's a good pickup. I think Sigurd side is almost must on him. You build him with no speed and try to get 100 ER, then you rest is into attack and crit damage, right? So I think this is really good. And yeah, fun fact, he was the final game that I want to finish lock in my Emperor. He was the solo carry, yeah. So yeah, so he won me the Emperor. Mm, Next up is Bazaar. Yeah, he's just holding some gear. Don't use Bazaar. Cigarette is a one shot for buy one. My Rem is on counter with some gear. Like in some cases where they play like Caesarea Cleave with a lot of debuffs, then she could work. Yeah, but it's rarely rare. It's, I guess that's not a word, rarely rare, but it's super niche. Yeah. Next up, Singelica. Yeah, it's just Y1 shot. CZ is holding some gear just in cases. There are cases where they overcome it on debuffs and pick like a pirate flan in fourth pick, and then I pick like Ed and CZ and then ban their last, and their only damage is pirate flan, and I've won some games like that in the season, right? So yeah, I think he's really hard to use, but if there is other guys debuffs and the other team has debuffs, and if there's no way to deal with debuffs, you might as well pick him and see it is. I think yeah, yeah. This is for Banshee. I think. Yeah, I think that's it. That's it. Those were my units. Yeah, I think I have a little bit more units because I've been playing for a long time, so you do build up units. Also, there are a lot of units that, as you have might have figured out, that I'm missing. Uh, so I don't have these units here. So yeah, that's a lot of units. Yeah. A lot of ML5s I'm missing, but do have every RGB. Yeah. I think yeah, Yuna is not there. the rest are all, yeah, new and zero. Yeah, I have everything. Yeah. So yeah, that is my account review. I probably missed a lot of things because it's my first time doing it. But I think hope you enjoyed. And if you have any questions, you would like to ask something, feel free to comment. And yeah, a like and a subscribe would be appreciated. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great day.